Who's ready for my mortgage rate prediction for 2024? Rates peaked in late October, right around 8%. And since then, we've been on what can only be described as a 6-week winning streak for mortgage rate improvement. Inflation reports are reflecting stabilization, and the Fed just absolutely changed the game a couple weeks ago when they announced that they're no longer going to be hiking and in fact will be cutting rates 3 times. Their expectation is they'll cut rates 3 times in 2024. The thing I'm going to be paying attention to this year is the gap between the 10-year Treasury yield and the 30-year mortgage. I want to see that gap shrink because for decades, this gap between these two numbers was around 1.75. And for the last 18 months or so, the spread between these numbers has gone to more like 2.75 or 3%. For instance, that peak of 8%, which was just a few weeks ago, the 10-year yield was 5%. So we had that spread was 3 points between those two numbers. And today, the 10-year is already down to about 3.9, and the 30-year fixed mortgage is like 6.5. So that gap is already beginning to normalize. I think we're going to see the 10-year drift lower in the first quarter and the beginning of this year. I think we'll see it drift lower, closer to 3.25 or even 3%. And I think we're going to see the spread shrink and normalize, which means I think we're going to see long-term mortgage rates cross below 6%, probably hover in the 5.5% range eventually. I just don't know when that's going to actually happen. So that's my prediction. What do you think will happen?